Good morning, dear students. So today we are going to start with the last part of this chapter, that is the fundamental unit of life. So let's begin. So today we are going to deal with the first topic, that is mitochondria. Now, what is mitochondria? First of all, we will see that it is a cell organelle, and who discovered and what is their structure, these things we have to study. So mitochondria were first seen by Kolliker in muscle cells, but it was Benda who named them as mitochondria. They are present in all eukaryotic cells. However, they are absent in prokaryotic cells. Typically, mitochondria are sausage shaped, but these may be granular, filamentous, rod shaped, spherical, or thread like also. Clear? So as you can see in the diagram, where it is generally situated or located. So mitochondria is present inside the cell. Next is structure of mitochondria. Now, if we see the structure of mitochondria, then mitochondria, as I have already said, that it is sausage shaped, but maybe spherical or oval cylindrical filamentous, or sometimes even branched too. Each mitochondria is bounded by a double membrane envelope. The outer membrane, you can see in the diagram, that is double membrane envelope. Outer membrane, this is outer membrane, is smooth and freely permeable to small molecules and medium sized molecules and ions. After that, second part, that is inner membrane. This is inner membrane, and this inner membrane is selectively permeable and is thrown into numerous folds to increase its area several times. The folds are called cristae. You can see in the diagram, these folds are called what? These folds are called cristae. The cristae are arranged in characteristic pattern in different cells and bear ATP generating assemblies called oxysomes or F1 portion. So this cristae consists of this F1 portion or F1 particle. Okay. So these are ATP generators. Full form of ATP is adenosine triphosphate, and they are the energy molecules, energy generating molecules. The two membranes of each mitochondrion are separated by a narrow space called intermembrane space. This is separated by a space which is known as intermembrane space, which is present in between outer and inner membrane. It contains a clear homogeneous fluid. The space between the cristae is called inner chamber. Clear? The space which is present inside, this is cristae. So this space is known as inner chamber. It is filled with a dense fluid called mitochondrial matrix, or simply we can also call it as matrix. The matrix contains respiratory enzymes, lipids, some ribosomes, RNA, a circular DNA, and certain ions. Here, as you can see in the diagram too, DNA, RNA, and as well as it consists of ribosome. The function of ribosome we have already discussed, that it helps in the synthesis of protein. So that is the structure of mitochondria. Now, what is the function of mitochondria, children? Mitochondria are the main seat of cell respiration. They use molecular oxygen and bring about stepwise oxidation of foodstuffs like carbohydrates and fats present in the cells to carbon dioxide and water. Oxidation of food releases energy, which is temporarily stored to form high energy ATP molecules. ATP is used to bring about energy requiring activities of the cell. On this account, the mitochondria are often described as the powerhouses or storage batteries of the cell. And ATP is known as energy currency of the cell. Clear? Some important energy requiring activities of the cell include like synthesis of chemical compounds, carbohydrate, proteins, lipids, DNA, replication, then transcription of RNA that you will study in senior classes, active transport of materials against concentration gradient across the plasma membrane, mechanical work, conduction of nerve impulse, production of heat, etc. Okay. So these are the energy requiring activities, okay, in which energy is required. Mitochondria are capable of self-duplication, that means replication. They have DNA, RNA, ribosomes, and enzymes. They are able to synthesize some of their own proteins. Hence, they are regarded as semi-autonomous organelles. Here, because they can self-replicate and because of the presence of their own DNA and RNA. So we are done with the mitochondria. They are basically helping in order to produce the energy by the process of oxidation. Next is plastids. This is yet another very important cell organelle, which is generally occur in most plant cells and absent in animal cell. Like the mitochondria, the plastid also have their genome, DNA, and ribosome. They are self-replicating organelles like the mitochondria. They have the power to divide. Plastids are of following three types. Okay. First is chromoplast, that is colored plastid, except green color. Then chloroplast, green colored plastid. Leucoplast, the colorless plastids. So these are the three different types of plastids. Major which we have to study, that is chloroplast. Now what is this chloroplast? Basically, chloroplasts are present in green algae and higher plants. Clear? Now, basically, they have a green pigment called chlorophyll and they are involved in photosynthesis of food. So, chloroplasts are the kitchen of the cell. Now, if you will see the diagram, you will understand that how it looks like. Each chloroplast is bounded by two unit membranes like mitochondria. You can see in the diagram, two membranes are there, inner membrane and outer membrane. It shows two distinct regions, that is grana are stacks of membrane bound flattened discoid sacs. Clear? So if you will see that coin shaped structure, that is what? That is grana. That stack of coin structure is what? That is grana, called thylakoid, containing the molecules of chlorophyll. They are the main functional units of chloroplast. Stroma is the homogeneous matrix in which grana are embedded. Stroma contains a variety of photosynthetic enzymes, starch grains, DNA, and ribosome. Again, very important that it consists of DNA. So that is again very important. Granum is the site of light reaction during the photosynthesis, while stroma is the site of dark reaction. Regarding light reaction and dark reaction, we will study afterwards. Okay. Now, what is the function? I think granum is very clear. Stack of thylakoid. Clear? And this is one coin is thylakoid. Clear? Grana are stack of membrane-bound flattened discoid sacs, which is known as thylakoid. Clear? Now, what are the functions of plastids? Chloroplast trap solar energy and utilizes it to manufacture food for the plant. What is the role of chromoplast? Chromoplast impart various colors to flowers to attract insects for pollination. Next is leucoplast, store food in the form of carbohydrates like starch, fats, and proteins. So these are the functions of plastids. Now, what is the difference between leucoplast and chromoplast? In case of leucoplast, they are colorless, but in case of chromoplast, they range from brownish to reddish in color. Leucoplast, they are cylindrical or rounded in shape, whereas chromoplast, they are irregular in shape. Leucoplast, they are found in unexposed cells, and chromoplast, they are found in both exposed and unexposed cells, obviously because they are imparting the color. Next is they can change to other types of plastids, but chromoplasts do not change into other types of plastids. Fifth, they take part in storage of food, amyloplasts, carbohydrate, elioplasts, lipids, and eleuroplasts for protein. So these are different types of leucoplasts. So their functions will be different. Amyloplasts for carbohydrate, elioplasts for lipids, and eleuroplasts for protein. In case of chromoplasts, they provide color to organs to attract pollinators and disseminators. Clear? Now next is differences between chloroplast and chromoplast. Now what is chloroplast? We all have discussed already. They are green plastid. Chromoplast, they are non-green colored plastids. Chloroplast, they contain chlorophylls and carotenoids, again color imparting, whereas chlorophyll are absent in chromoplast and only carotenoids are present. Lamella are present, but in case of chromoplast, it is absent. Chloroplasts are sites of photosynthesis, very important, and chromoplasts, they add color to the organs, example flowers, fruits, for attracting animals to perform pollination and fruit dispersal. Next is difference between mitochondria and chloroplast, because both are having that genetic material. So let's see. Mitochondria, they occur in the cells of aerobic organisms, plants and animals, with the exception of RBCs, mammalian RBCs. Chloroplasts, they occur in the cells of green photosynthetic parts, example leaves of plants. Mitochondria, they are colorless. Chloroplasts, they are green in color. Mitochondria, the shape is rod-like or sausage shaped, whereas chloroplasts, they are generally disc-like in outline. Mitochondria, inner membrane of each mitochondrion is thrown into folds called cristae. Chloroplast, the inner membrane forms flattened sacs called thylakoids or lamellae. They liberate energy. Chloroplast, they trap solar energy and convert it into chemical energy. Mitochondria, they perform oxidation of food and they synthesize food by photosynthesis. 7, they consume O2 and liberate CO2. Clear? Whereas here they consume CO2 and liberate O2. Clear? So fourth point, the inner membrane, their inner membrane forms flattened sacs called thylakoid or lamellae. Lamellae is the separate part and thylakoid is the separate part. So don't get confused, okay? Next is vacuoles. Now what is the role of vacuole, children? Vacuoles are fluid filled or solid filled and membrane bounded spaces. They are a kind of storage sacs. In animal cells, the vacuoles, if present, are small and temporary. They store water, glycogen, and protein. In single cell organisms such as amoeba, these vacuoles are there. Food vacuoles contains the food item that the animals has ingested and subsequently consumed. Okay? Subsequently consumed. Many unicellular organisms, in addition, possess specialized vacuoles that serve as osmoregulatory organelles. They are associated with the maintenance of the water balance of the body. In plant cell, vacuoles are large, distinct, and permanent. Clear? In plant cells, vacuoles are large, distinct, and permanent. In mature plant cells, the vacuole occupies almost the entire, that is the 90% volume of the cell. Because of the central position of the vacuole, the nucleus and other cell organelles in plant cells are pushed near the boundary wall. The vacuole is bounded by a membrane called tonoplast, that you can see in the diagram also, called tonoplast. The vacuole is filled with cell sap, which is a watery solution rich in sugars, amino acid, proteins, minerals, and metabolic waste such as anthocyanin and alkaloids. Clear? So that is the diagram of vacuole. Clear? Tonoplast, then central vacuole, and cell shape, the liquid which is filled inside. Now, what is the function of this vacuole? There are storage sacs of the cell. The stored material may be solid, liquid, food, or toxic metabolic byproducts or end products of the cell. Clear? In some unicellular organisms, specialized vacuoles maintain water balance of the body, that is known as osmoregulation. In plants, they provide turgidity and rigidity, that means stiffness to the cells. Next is peroxisome and its function. Now, what is this peroxisome, children? Peroxisome are very small and spherical organelles containing powerful oxidative enzymes. They are bounded by a single membrane. Peroxisomes are mostly found in kidney and liver cells. Inner content of peroxisome are finely granular, but sometimes a crystalline core is visible by electron microscope. This is crystalline core, which is visible by electron microscope in the center of the peroxisome. This crystalline core is a crystallized protein called catalase enzyme. Clear? Now, what is the function of this particular organelle? Peroxisomes are spherical for carrying, peroxisomes are specialized for carrying out some oxidative reactions such as detoxification, or in simple terms, if we say, then for removal of toxic substances from the cell. Now, the catalase enzyme of peroxisome catalyzes the decomposition of hydrogen peroxide to water and oxygen. Hydrogen peroxide is a byproduct of certain cell oxidation and is also very toxic, so must be eliminated immediately. So that is the role of catalase enzyme. Next is centrosome. Centrosome found only in animal cells. It is not bounded by any membrane but consists of two granule-like centrioles. Centrioles are hollow and cylindrical structures which are made up of microtubules. In plant cells, the polar caps perform the function of centrioles. Now, what is the function of these centrosome? You have seen in the chromosome as well, where the centrosome is located. Centrosome helps in cell division in animal cells. During the cell division, centrioles migrate to the poles of animal cells and are involved in the formation of the spindle. Clear? That ray-shaped structure is formed by when it will migrate towards the pole, that means towards the corner. Now, in plant cells, cell division involves polar caps for the spindle formation, whereas in case of plant cell, it will be polar caps which is performing this cell division. Therefore, each cell acquires its distinct structure and function due to the organization of its membrane and organelle in a specific way. Clear? Now, next is cell inclusions. Now, what is cell inclusions, children? Cell inclusions are non-living material present in the cytoplasm. They are often called deutoplasmic substances. They may be organic or inorganic compounds or both. The common cell inclusions are stored organic food material, secretions and excretions, and inorganic crystals. Clear? Next is cell division. Now, what is cell division? As you can see in the diagram, so it is very clear that cell division is basically when new cells are formed in organism in order to grow, to replace old one, dead one, and injured cells, and to form gametes required for reproduction, then the process by which new cells are made is called cell division. There are two main types of cell division. First one you can see in the diagram, mitosis, and second is meiosis. The process of cell division by which most of the cells divides for growth is called mitosis. That means when your body will grow, then this particular cell division will take place. That is mitosis. Equal number of daughter cells will form. In this process, each cell called mother cell divides to form two identical daughter cells. You can see in the diagram too. The daughter cells have the same number of chromosomes, right? The way you have seen in the parent, in the same way the daughter, sorry, mother, in the same way the daughter cell will also have the number of chromosome as mother cell. It helps in growth and repair of tissues in organism. If there is any cut, anything, then this particular division will take place in the cell to heal that injury. Specific cells of reproductive organs or tissues in animals and plants divide to form gametes, which after fertilization give rise to offspring. They divide by a different process called meiosis. But when we are talking about fertilization process, then meiosis is there, which is taking place instead of mitosis, which involves two consecutive divisions. You can see in the diagram again. When a cell divides by meiosis, it produces 4 new cells instead of just 2. Okay? The new cells only have half the number of chromosome than that of the mother cells. Clear? Now that's why when there is a formation of gamete, so it will be 23, then 23 pair of chromosome. So in that way, it will combine and then the formation of zygote will takes place. So this much only you have to study in class 9, and rest, what are the different types, anaphase, telophase, these all you will study in higher classes. Now next is very important, that is the difference between animal cell and plant cell. So we all know that animal cells are generally small in size and plant cells are generally larger than animal cells. Second, it is enclosed by a thin, flexible, living plasma membrane only. Cell wall is absent in animal cell, whereas in plant cell, it is enclosed by a thick, rigid, dead cell wall in addition to plasma membrane. Next, plastids are absent in animal cell, whereas plastids are present in plant cells. Animal cells have single Golgi apparatus nearly near the nuclear envelope, whereas in case of plant cell have many Golgi complexes scattered in the cytoplasm, which is known as what? Dictyosome. I think we have discussed also about this, that what is dictyosome. So plant cells have many simpler units of Golgi apparatus called dictyosomes. Now, animal cells have a centrosome containing centrioles, whereas in case of plant cells, centrosome and centrioles are absent in plant cells. Instead of that, polar caps are helping in cell division. Vacuoles are many but small sized, and in case of plant cells, vacuoles are fewer but large sized. Next, nucleus is generally near the center of the cell, whereas plant cell, nucleus is often pushed to one side in the peripheral cytoplasm by the central vacuole containing cell sap. So children, we are done with the chapter. If you have any doubt, then please do write and please prepare all the notes. Whatever I am giving, it is very important. And just make important points in your notes so that it will be helpful for the revision. Assignment I am going to attach in the form of PDF. So please attempt all the questions. If you face any problem in the assignment, kindly write. Thanks. Happy learning.